Not sure how to start this video. I guess hi, and sorry for not being around the last 2 weeks. That was not planned, but it was intentional. If you did not read my community post, my YouTube community post, I think I made it 2 weeks ago now or around there. I explained what happened and why I would be taking a break from YouTube, but essentially our dog passed away. We had to put her down, and I'm going to tell you the entire story in this video. But in case you're new and you've stumbled across this video, my name is Neil. I make videos on YouTube primarily about sports and more specifically about hockey, logos, jerseys, design, the teams in general, stuff like that. So I've been making videos for a long time on YouTube, and it's always been sports related. However, there have been a couple of videos where I've introduced my pets and stuff because I love animals. And if you're a longtime viewer, then you will know that I have 3 cats. I made videos about every single one of them. I even had some of my cats predict the Stanley Cup playoff series a couple of years ago. I think it was last season, actually. But something you may not also know is that I have a dog. I mean, I call her my dog, but technically she's my girlfriend's dog, but it's our dog. Her name is Luna. She's 9, and she's a Nova Scotia Ducktoller. She was a beautiful dog, and I'm going to tell you about her a little bit before I get into the unfortunate news. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe Luna, and there are so many positive things that I can say about her. She was so smart and loving and like literally just the best dog ever. I know everybody says that, but there's nothing to complain about with Luna. Like she was truly like the best dog. She was like a big cat. She didn't bark a bunch. She loved just to sleep. She was a little bit weird and stuff. Like cats are weird. Like they all have their own little weird personalities and they go off on their own for a little bit. Like Luna was kind of like that. But she was very loving. Like she had such a specific personality, but she was so like weird, but in a good way at the same time. It's really hard to describe. But she was incredibly smart, like so smart, and very loving and very fun to play with and stuff. Even though she was older, around 9, she loved to play and had all kinds of energy. So I really cannot say enough good things about Luna. And although it's been a very difficult 2 weeks, I'm at a place now where I can make this video. I could not make this video 2 weeks ago. I could not make this video a week ago. It's really taken the 2 weeks to kind of just go through the grieving process, is maybe I guess the best way to put it. I love animals. I do not have kids. I love animals. I essentially grew up on a farm. I've always been surrounded by animals. I've had pets the majority of my life. I have a deep love for animals. I love cats and I love dogs specifically, and it's just been a truly heartbreaking last 2 weeks and one of the most difficult moments of my entire life 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to get into what happened specifically and kind of the timeline. And the reason I'm making this video is number one, for an explanation. It's not great when someone just disappears for 2 weeks, but also because I want to bring a little bit of awareness as to what happened in case you do have a dog yourself or a cat and there are specific signs that you notice are a little bit weird. Maybe listening to my story might help you a little bit, or I guess maybe just make you a little bit more aware of maybe the signs and stuff. So this all started exactly 2 weeks ago. So I'm filming this on the 27th. I think it was the 13th. Yeah, it was exactly 2 weeks ago on Sunday the 13th. The week leading up to that, we had family over for the entire week. It was a really busy week. And then Sunday morning, they left. So Sunday, back to normal, getting back into the regular routine. And we were planning our next vacation actually that day. And we had booked our flights in the afternoon. We had booked some other things, I think, as well. So basically, we have decided to go on a bit of a road trip in the United States, and so we booked some things around that trip. And then something weird started to happen probably around 7:30ish that night. My girlfriend was just up the street visiting her parents. They just live up the street. And I noticed that Luna was acting a little bit strange. Like she was not pacing, but just like almost out of breath a little bit. I was like, okay, like, that's she's a little bit of a weird cookie, so it's not that unusual, but I know Luna, and I know that something wasn't quite right. So I was like, oh, I let her outside and stuff, and she started acting very strange outside. After she would poop, usually she'd like kick the grass and stuff to like cover it or whatever. And she started doing that, but she didn't poop beforehand, and she was like pacing and really out of breath. It's like, that's very strange, very strange. So I texted my girlfriend. She came right away, and then got back inside, and Luna was pacing and stuff and just like almost hyperventilating. So, obviously something was going on. And we experienced something like that about 6 months ago where she was a little uneasy, kind of the same thing. And it went away after about maybe in an hour or 2 hours, but we monitored her the entire time. So that's what we did this time. And during this time, we gave her, so we tried to give her a little kibble of food and stuff because she's on a very strict diet. Just a little bit of a background very quickly. Luna has had some health complications. She has major thyroid issues, which causes her to gain weight. If you look at her, you think that she eats basically everything in the fridge whenever she wants. The actual truth is she's on an incredibly strict diet with very expensive dog food, like $250 a month, and she only has basically 2 cups a day, one in the morning and one in the evening. So she actually doesn't eat a lot, but she's a thick lady. So we were trying to give her like just some kibbles of that food. We also call them the treats. And she gets them whatever she thinks they're treats, but they're the same thing as her food. And she wasn't interested. Now, if there's one thing you need to know about Luna is that she loves food. Like, she loves food. We don't give her human food at all. Like I said, super strict diet. But when we're eating, she is there. She's looking us in the face, and she's crying a little bit. Like, she loves food. So her not taking a kibble or food was the biggest kind of red flag. So we monitored her, continued, and then she started doing something a little bit weird, where she started to almost like chew on her own teeth and like almost gnaw on something that wasn't there, and like started to like foam at the mouth a little bit, but was still like like looking around and stuff. And I thought that was very strange. Like, obviously something's very weird is going on right here. And then almost immediately after that, like, she started to like lift one leg. This is the first, not maybe not the first, but one of the big important side effects of what's to come. So she started to lift her paw and her leg a little bit while still doing the mouth thing and the foaming. And we were like, okay, she's like, something is incredibly wrong right now. It turns out it was a seizure, or the beginning of a seizure. I didn't know that at the time. I suspected it, but I didn't know for sure. I've never experienced that before in a dog or a pet or animal or a human. So I wasn't sure. And then she like immediately defecated in the house, like uncontrollably. And that's not Luna. She's very, very smart. She will go to the door. She will tell us that she needs to go. Like, she's never done that in the house. So that was a very, very scary moment. I wasn't exactly sure what was happening. So my girlfriend basically left, went up the road, got her, like, ran up the road, got her parents, and then Luna did continue after that to kind of basically lose balance, and she went kind of into the wall a little bit and laid herself down kind of on the ground and had a major seizure. Major seizure. I'm very lucky to not have experienced a lot of trauma in my life and not a lot of loss. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But that moment was probably the most traumatic moment that I've ever experienced personally. She laid on her side, and it's almost like she was running full tilt on her side. Eyes almost rolled back. Her mouth was open, like full on, very chaotic seizure. And in the moment, I still didn't know it was a seizure. I didn't know. I wasn't familiar with that. Like I said, I've never experienced it. I didn't know if it was a heart attack. I didn't know what was going on. So I was very distraught. I think back to that moment, and it's very strange because there's periods of time during that night where I have no memory. It's like it kind of doesn't exist. And I'll get to that in a second, actually, because like the next step was her parents coming over, and we very quickly packed up the vehicle, and we got Luna to our vehicle, and she had stopped having the major seizure at that point. It was about a minute and a half. So she was still like out of breath. She was very confused, still like didn't know what was going on. So we got her to the vehicle, and I don't remember that specific section. I don't remember her getting to the vehicle, grabbing the stuff for the vehicle. I know what happened. I have no memory of it. We drove to the emergency animal hospital. This was about 8:30 at night on the Sunday, and by the time we got there, which is about a 25-minute drive, Luna was actually sitting up in the back, and she was still like out of breath and stuff, and still not doing well, but she looked way normal than she did. So I guess that was a bit of a not a bright point, but just something a little bit of positivity that maybe it wasn't a heart attack. She's doing better and stuff. Whatever it was, we'll figure it out. So we get her into the vet. She is able to walk they put her on a scale, and then they took her in and basically waited for an hour. Long story short, they come out. They said that we weren't exactly sure what it is. We have her on some IV or something like that, but they suspected either epilepsy or a brain tumor. They didn't think it was anything else other than that. We could not afford a CT scan because it was like over $3,000. So we couldn't confirm that it was a brain tumor. So they said that the best thing to do would be to keep her overnight, keep her on fluids. We'll start her on epilepsy medication, and we'll give her the long-term stuff that she's going to need after this if it is epilepsy. And we're going to give her basically, I don't know what the medication was, but it was a blocker to stop a major seizure from happening again. So she got all the meds basically there. So and then they did blood work to confirm it wasn't anything organ related. So her liver was good, her kidneys were good, everything else was good basically. Her thyroid was a little bit off, but that was completely normal because she had thyroid issues, which she was already medicated for. So anyways, we left, and that was a very difficult night. We slept an hour. I went to sleep at 7:30, and I woke up at, I think it's like 8:30, maybe 8:15, something like that. If you see me looking this way, by the way, I just have a notebook here that's kind of keeping me on track because there's a lot to talk about. So Monday morning came, and we called the vet, and we got some more information. And in the middle of the night, they switched vets. So a new vet came in, reassessed Luna, and basically said that kind of the same thing, but basically he was pretty sure that it was seizure related, it was epilepsy related. She's going to have to be medicated, like the other vet said, but that she could be discharged probably around 6 p.m. So he said, come pick her up. She'll have to be on this medication, yada, yada, yada. So we're like, okay, wow. Like, not a heart attack, not anything like super crazy. We're not going to like lose her or anything. She just has to be medicated to prevent seizures, which is another medication for Luna, like another health problem. But they said that she was eating and she was, interacting and stuff. So it's like, okay. So we went to go and get her at 6 p.m. and Luna couldn't even walk in the room. She literally could not walk. They had a blue like lift belt underneath of her, helping her into the room, and we kind of like looked at each other and we're like Luna doesn't even know where she is. She's super medicated. She can't walk. Like, that does not look like a dog that needs discharged, but we still had to go through the process. So we got her home, and I will post a couple of photos here so you can see. We got her in the door, and she couldn't walk, and like she's a thick girl. Like she's a thick girl. So it was difficult to, move her around and stuff. Like, she's difficult to lift up. So we got some water, and she was drinking the water. She was super thirsty, had all kinds of water. She had a meal. She was really interested in food and water, which was a great sign. But she couldn't walk. She couldn't do anything. And she just wasn't herself, really. And we knew that it was going to be a difficult night, and it was. We realized at that point that not only was she suffering with something, but she was also suffering from the heavy medication. Like, clearly the medication was preventing her from being mobile and a little bit like herself. So we put the cats in the garage. We had like the whole garage. We don't park in there. It is literally like the cat sanctuary. We have some storage in there, and that's kind of the cat space. So we put them in there sometimes when we have people over and we don't want a whole bunch of commotion. So we put them in there. We didn't want them bothering Luna or anything like that, or making the situation any worse by, I don't know, just adding to the chaos a little bit. And they all get along wonderfully with Luna, by the way. It was a nice, happy family. However, one cat of mine, Pickle, he was very concerned with Luna, and he refused to stay in the garage, and he wanted to be in the presence of Luna. He stayed out the entire night with us in the living room. He watched Luna from different angles multiple times during the night, and they're kind of the same personality in a way. Pickle also has thyroid issues, and Pickle has also wanted to be around Luna when he knew that Luna wasn't feeling well or was, maybe having a hard time and stuff. So Pickle is very intuitive. It was sweet to see, but also a little bit concerning as well. Pickle could almost sense like something was just seriously wrong. So that night was very brutal. Luna could not walk, which means she could not go outside to pee or poop or do anything like that. So we had to basically lift her and take her outside and hold her up while she did her business, which she accidentally did twice in the house during the night. So no sleep that night, basically an hour. And we realized in the morning that the medication that she is on is going to make her be like this, maybe not this severe, but at least a little bit like this for the rest of her life. And so we wanted a second opinion, and we wanted to book an appointment with her actual vet. So we did that. And I apologize if this video is getting a little bit long. It's just, I want to make this video because I'm hoping that this story can help someone else as well if they're having pet issues, or maybe they just lost a pet, or maybe their dog is having seizures or something like that. So I do apologize of the length of this video, but I just need to talk. So we booked an appointment with a real vet for a second opinion, and her actual vet is incredible, like the best vet I've ever experienced. Super good guy, and he was concerned. He basically had the same conclusion that we did, and he said that yes, Luna will eat, Luna will drink, Luna has thyroid issues but is medicated, Luna has potentially epilepsy and is medicated, but he said that the medication that she is on will affect who she is and how she is able to live, and basically the quality of life will not be there for Luna long term. There's a chance that she may never even get close to back to where she was, which means that she might have a lot of trouble just walking. That's not something I want from my pet. I do not want my pet to suffer. That breaks my heart completely. I do not want any pet to suffer any type of pain. If I cannot give them a quality of life, then a difficult decision needs to be made. So we made a very difficult decision at that point, specifically my girlfriend, because technically Luna is hers, to put her down. So around 11 a.m., we did put Luna down, and that moment was very, very difficult. I will never forget that. Unfortunately, I wish that, part of me wishes that I would, because it was very traumatic. But it was very, very difficult. This is another point where things get a little bit foggy, because I'm running on, like, the last time I had actual sleep was Saturday night into Sunday. It's actually Tuesday morning at this point. So I've had 2 hours of sleep in the last 3 days, kind of. My memory at this point is kind of shot. I'm in a state, as we say. So I don't really remember driving home from the vet to back home without Luna. We are having her cremated and stuff, and we're doing some other special things. We're getting a paw print and stuff like that. But I don't really remember leaving the vet or driving home. That's very foggy to me. And coming home was absolutely brutal. Like, that rest of that day was very traumatic. Like, I don't know how an emotional of a person that I am on average, but I've definitely never cried that much in my life like that. And over that 24 hours, that was brutal. So there was no way that I was even able to do my job. I literally had to take the day off on Monday and first half of Tuesday as well. It was, I think there's no way I could have done it. So my work was really, really good about it, thankfully. Okay, so I'm just keeping myself on track again. So 7:30 is that we went to sleep at 7:30 p.m. and we didn't wake up till like 8 the next day. So we slept a good 12 hours, and we needed it because we were running on absolutely no sleep. But even so, it was so difficult to fall asleep. Like, it's such a difficult day. So I didn't want to film anything for like either this video or any regular video for the channel. I release a video every Friday on the channel, as any longtime viewer would know. I try and upload on Mondays and Wednesdays, and sometimes Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. But there's not a chance that I could have filmed any video that first week. And then last week, I didn't want to film a video until I authentically felt like I could, and I could be myself and be like happy and like have a genuine reaction to something like a Jersey concept or anything like that. And I know that is a financial sacrifice to me, because I don't get the AdSense money for 2 weeks because I'm not uploading videos. And I know that obviously people are looking for videos and stuff, and I'm kind of ghosting them. So if you didn't see the YouTube community post, I do apologize, but I did make it 2 weeks ago, and I did explain everything in that. So if you didn't see that, and this is the first you're hearing from me in 2 weeks, then I do apologize. I want to talk a little bit about loss. I've not experienced a great deal of loss in my life, which I'm thankful for. Any loss I did experience, I was quite young. So like, my mom's mom passed away before I was born, well before I was born. My mom's dad passed away in 2011, and I didn't have a super close relationship with him. He was a bit of a recluse. So I didn't have a very, very close relationship at all. Obviously, it was sad when he passed and stuff, and it was not a good time at all. But it didn't affect me like greatly. It probably should have, because it's my grandfather, but I just didn't have a close relationship with him. And then my mom's brother passed away. I think it was before that or after that. I can't remember the exact timeline. I didn't really have a close relationship with him either. And then my dad's mom passed away in 94, 95. So I was really, really young. I was like 10 at the time. and my dad's dad died in 89. I was 3. So I don't remember that at all. And my dad's stepfather, which was basically the only kind of relationship I had with a grandparent, he lived in Victoria, British Columbia, and he died in 2017. Actually, when I first started this channel is exactly when that happened. I think I made a video of going to Victoria for the funeral. Obviously not the funeral, but I think I made a video in a hotel or something there. I can't remember, but I didn't really have a super close relationship with him either. So I've not really suffered a lot of loss in my life, which again I'm thankful for. And I guess that's probably the reason why I was so emotional and it was so traumatic for me, because I loved Luna so much and I love animals and I had such a good relationship with Luna and she was such a good dog that it's so difficult to lose a pet when you see them every day and you have a routine and they're always there and like you're so close with them. So it's been really difficult for the past 2 weeks, and I didn't want to film anything until I felt like I was starting to get back to normal and like getting back into a regular kind of daily routine and stuff. And that's only really been in the past couple of days. So the house was quiet. So what have I been doing in the last 2 weeks? The house has been so quiet with Luna not here. You don't hear her nails on the floor. You don't hear, reminding us that it's time to eat in the morning and supper time, or asking to go outside by the door. It's been very quiet. Still have 3 cats. Love my cats. They are the best cats. Love them to death. But they don't make a lot of noise typically compared to a dog. So it's been really quiet in the house. When I get home from work, the cats just kind of look at me. Like Beasley will come running, but generally they just kind of look at me. Where Luna before, she was so excited to see me. If you have a dog, you know this. So the house is very quiet. So we've tried to get out of the house a little bit. We went to PEI last weekend and basically just disconnected from our phones. We went to the beach and just tried to enjoy nature and just like tried to take that time to think about Luna and stuff and take some time for ourselves. We've had some other beach days as well. We went to the beach yesterday, and I think there was one other day as well. Basically just trying to avoid social media a little bit, avoid technology, and just kind of spend some time outside and just kind of, I guess, grieve, honestly. During these past 2 weeks, we've had conversations about a future dog, and we've both agreed that basically impossible. Like for at least 15, 20 years, we would not consider getting another dog until the cats pass away, which would be in 15, 20 years. And even then, very unlikely. The chances of us having another dog would be only really probably possible in 25 or 30 years if we did. The loss was so great that we don't want to go through that again. And I think we just need to love Luna for now. Luna can't be replaced. And I think getting another dog now or even in 5 years would almost feel wrong. Like that's how much we love Luna, and it's hard to describe. I know some people get pets, right? Like they'll get a dog right after one of their dogs passes, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's also a healthy way to deal with it and stuff. But for us, it just feels like we would be replacing Luna in some way, and that's not a great feeling. So we don't want another dog right now. We're not going to get one. The next thing on my list is I just want to thank you again for all your support, all the messages and stuff on the community post, and your patience and stuff over the past 2 weeks. I don't think I got a single negative comment. At least if I did, I didn't see it. So thank you so much for your support over the past couple of weeks. I really appreciate it. I know that many of you are pet lovers. I know that many of you have pets of your own, have suffered loss of pets and stuff, and maybe have elderly pets currently that the time is coming. It's a very difficult thing to go through. And I appreciate so much your kind words and patience. Seriously, sincerely, thank you so much for your patience and not pressuring me to make videos and stuff. I really appreciate that. So thank you. Seriously, thank you. One other note here is that right after this happened, we basically decided we're going to cancel our vacation. Obviously, what happened with Luna cost us $3,000. So that's basically like bye-bye vacation or whatever. But we realized that we both kind of need a reset. It's not really a vacation anymore. It's more so we're looking at like a reset, because it's so weird here still, and going to the beach helps and stuff, but it's almost like we need to completely reset our brains a little bit and just take some time off work, because the brain fog since then has been real and work has been difficult and stuff. So we've decided to still go on the trip. It is a budget friendly trip as it can be. It's basically just a bit of a road trip across Western United States. So it's not a fancy resort, or it's not like an expensive cruise or anything like that. We're flying to Arizona for a pretty good deal, honestly, pretty cheap flights, renting a car and driving and staying at some pretty budget hotels. So like that's literally it. It's not going to be anything fancy. But I think that will help a lot to kind of do the reset for us. So I will be gone from August 1st to August 17th. I am filming videos that will release throughout August 1st to 17th, including this week coming. So there's going to be a regular content coming on the channel for sure. There's not going to be another 2-week break. There's not going to be any gaps or anything like that. I'm filming all those videos actually as soon as I'm done filming this. So you'll see those in the next 3 weeks, essentially. So keep an eye out for those videos coming. There's some really interesting concept series that were submitted, at least by title. I've not seen them yet, but some people have submitted some interesting ideas for NHL jersey concept sets. So I think you're going to like those just based on the name of the series. That maybe these are signs that you should look out for in the future. Like if your dog does experience similar symptoms as this, the first thing you need to do is get that dog to the vet ASAP. If you do, it might even be able to prevent a major seizure. So that's really the primary reason I wanted to make this video, is to bring, I guess, awareness to those symptoms, because I didn't know. I mean, I've had pets all my life. I've had pets with different health issues, but never specifically this. And like I mentioned, the foaming of the mouth, lifting the kind of leg and stuff, and a little bit of twitching and stuff. So this was pre-seizure, or technically seizure, but not the major seizure. It was basically just the beginning. So if you see your pet do this or have these similar symptoms to this, or notice anything super unusual where they're like out of breath or pacing or anything, take them to the vet immediately. Take them to an emergency vet. The quicker you get them there, the more that could potentially be done, either by blocking a seizure or some major event, or by having the pet there when a seizure does happen, so the vet can take care of it right away and the pet can be in the best possible care. So keep an eye out for these symptoms. Now I will say that the major seizure happened about maybe 60 seconds after this. So obviously you can't get to the vet in 60 seconds, but I'm just letting you know that there might be a gap. The vet told us that there might be a longer gap. If you see like a small seizure like happening with the mouth or foaming or anything like that, there might be 30 minutes or an hour until the major seizure happens. So for us, it was 60 seconds. For you, it might be an hour or so. Take your pet to the vet immediately. So that's what happened. That's been my last 2 weeks. It's been very difficult, so like I said. But I appreciate your patience. If you've watched this entire video, I thank you for your patience and listening and being understanding and whatnot. And if you have pets, give them a hug for me. Hold them a little bit tighter. Give them a pet. Give them an extra kibble or two, maybe a little bit of a treat. But love them closely and love them a lot, because very difficult when they're gone. At the end of this video, I'll put a couple of pictures of Luna if you want to see more pictures of Luna. I've got a couple of her with the cats, sitting with the cats and stuff. So I'll put those at the end of the video if you want to watch. But anyways, the next video on the channel will be regular content, and that will be tomorrow. So tomorrow, regular content will start again. You will see a video on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every week for the next 3 weeks. So from this point on, there'll be 9 videos coming in the next 3 weeks on those dates, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So keep an eye out for those. Hope you're having a good summer and it's going well for you. And I'll talk to you in that video tomorrow. Adios.